makes me wanna holler, go away. I need more peace and hope and love. Where do I find it in this crazy old world? I need strategies, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Every time I listen, Lauren and David share strategies for living, and it makes me aware. I've got strategies for living, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio.
You know,
Your dose of radio
we need them.
rehab.
Yeah, we need those strategies, don't we? Those strategies for living. So are you ready? Are you ready for your daily dose of radio rehab?
Oh, I'm ready.
I knew you would be today. Hey, folks, welcome. Welcome into another edition of Strategies for Living. I'm Dr. David McMillian. She is psychotherapist, LPC Lauren Leon McMillian, and she's trainable.
Well, you know what? So are you, old dog.
Yeah, well, yeah. See, you've proven that you can
It's
teach an
absolutely-
old dog new tricks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Neuroplasticity is real, and I believe wholeheartedly in it.
You just got to get the treats right. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have a way of doing
Behavioral
that.
rewards.
There you go. So, why are we focusing on Trainable today? Because there are some psychological skills that neuroscience has uncovered. In fact, there's a growing body of research that shows just a handful, Lauren, a handful of simple, repeatable practices can strengthen our emotional resilience and reduce anxiety. And these are not things that we're born with now, you know,
Right.
but they're trainable psychological skills.
Well, because it makes me think, we're pattern-seeking people, and it's actually a biological trait to sort of hone in on the negative so that we can protect ourselves. It's a survival mechanism.
Sure.
But it is trainable that we can notice and focus on the other aspects of a situation too.
I think
That's
it's
just one.
Yeah,
I think.
I do think it's important to note that the stuff we're going to talk about today are all shown by large behavioral studies that people can learn these skills, these specific psychological skills that reliably, we talk about in psychology, reliability and validity.
Mm-hmm.
So reliability is it does it every time, does it consistently,
Right.
As opposed to validity, which says this does what it says it's going to do.
Right.
So we're tackling that today here on Strategies for Living. Thank you for being with us, and we appreciate our sponsors who make it possible: the Robinson Film Center, Azalea Cleaners, Pintail Roofing, Restore Healing, Fertitta's Delicatessen, home of the Muffies, SRT Sales Training, Uprising Addiction Center, and Mira Direct Primary Care. We're going to learn some things today here on Strategies for Living.
Tune in daily, find the light. Healthy mind and spirits bright. Strategies for living strong. Feel the vibe, it won't go wrong. Body moves and soul align. Catch the rhythm, feel the time. Radio rehab every day. Chase those clouds of gray away. Your daily dose of radio rehab. Lift you up when skies seem trapped. Mind and body, spirits free. Living life in harmony.
And welcome into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillian, trainer. David McMillian, trainee.
Right.
Just
I
get that.
think we are both roles as well.
Yeah.
For ourselves, hopefully.
Today we're talking about some trainable psychological skills that increase positive emotions and decrease anxiety, even Lauren, in hard times. Because, and again, everything that we're going to talk about today have large behavioral studies behind them. And it shows that people can learn specific skills, specific psychological skills that will reliably raise daily positive emotion. And higher positive emotion is consistently linked to lower anxiety and better stress recovery. So who of us doesn't need that? Lower anxiety today and better stress recovery.
Yeah, I think that could be a good thing for everybody at this point.
I definitely think so. So, first of all, notice positive events, but notice them on purpose.
Intentionally,
Notice
right?
positive events on purpose. So I would challenge us to do this more than once a day, but at least once a day. Very deliberately note one moment. And this could be a small moment. It doesn't have to be massive, but note one small moment that felt even slightly good. and then write it down.
Ooh.
Write it down before you go to bed.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, you can do this on your computer or on your phone if you want to do that. I, however, encourage pen or pencil in hand and writing it down on paper. Why? Because the very act of being that tactile,
Right. That intentional.
that intentional, it underscores the intentionality that you're going into this with. Now,
I also like the idea of doing it right before bed.
yeah.
Because I think we miss the opportunity often. The idea that we're going to be unconscious for hopefully at least 8 hours.
Yeah, you hope.
If you're healthy.
And generally,
but at least for some couple of hours.
Yeah, and generally the mind, as it's moving from beta into theta and then alpha, those are states of the brain,
Right.
That have to do with basically the.
Well, you're going to theta, and then delta to go to sleep.
Yeah. But you're going through. Yeah, you
often transition.
You're going to transition. As we, and really the most powerful learning takes place in alpha theta.
Yeah.
And so, Einstein did his greatest work, had his greatest discoveries when he was daydreaming.
Right.
What happens when we daydream? Well, our brain goes into alpha theta.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So the thing that I want us all to understand is how we drift, the things that are on our mind.
Well, and we consolidate in reverse order. And what that means is basically when we go to sleep, part of the sleep process is to consolidate memories, right?
Okay, yeah.
And we do that in reverse. So whatever you did right before you went to bed is going to be the first thing that you consolidate.
Okay, all right.
So that's
thereby pen to paper or pencil to paper. And again, if you want to do it on the phone or you want to do it on your computer, okay.
I want to note that, noticing the positive events on purpose we're not denying what is. We're not denying the reality.
No.
We're simply expanding on it, and we're actually training that part of our brain, the reticulating activating system, right?
Right.
Which is basically just the part of the brain that focuses on what you put your attention on.
Well,
and
you've
continues to bring that up to your conscious awareness.
And you've already noted a few minutes ago that our attention naturally out of a defensive mechanism.
Oh yeah,
right?
It's called the negativity bias.
Yeah,
the idea that our brains focus primarily on problems out of a survival mechanism.
Yeah, it's a natural threat bias.
It kept us alive. right?
Absolutely.
For hundreds of thousands of years.
It did, and it did its job, and that's wonderful. We don't have a whole lot of saber-toothed tigers around here, at least that I've seen.
Not literally,
No.
although all of a sudden the email, the work, the boss, the deadline
Yeah.
have
They
become
can
the
feel like
modern
saber-tooth.
taxes. They've
Yeah,
become the
yeah.
modern saber-toothed tiger.
Yeah, yeah.
But they don't truly threaten our lives.
No, they don't.
And that's important for us to remember.
And so repeatedly noticing positive moments, and I'm going to even throw in neutral moments. So
Okay.
repeatedly and by intention noticing either neutral or positive moments weakens the brain's constant scanning for danger.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I love to do at night is, when the lights go off and it's time to drift, I like to think over the best parts of the day.
Yeah.
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 If I did some yard work last weekend,
Right.
and I was pleased. I went to bed thinking about that.
Yeah.
I've done some writing here lately.
Yep.
I've drifted off a night or two thinking about that. It's interesting, especially if you're doing it. Not that I put myself in the same place as Einstein, by no means. But
You're both humans.
we've got that in common. But the on more than one occasion, especially coming out in the writing, going to sleep like that brings, I've noticed, the next day, sometimes right away, sometimes in the morning, but it doesn't matter. At some point, fairly early, I'm going to get this download. I'm going to get this,
Yep.
that I'm not sure that I would get.
No, like
if I didn't
really
think about
what you're touching on now is, I think, the idea of seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened.
Yeah.
And the idea of using your conscious awareness to say, hey, I'm going to some in-between place for a couple of hours, and I want to intentionally seed this question. And even though you're not really, it's not a literal question, it's still in that idea of, let me bring what I've created so far. How can I expand upon this?
Yeah.
And you're letting your subconscious marinate in that for, hopefully, again, 8 hours.
We like marination here in Louisiana. We like to marinate stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we marinate ourselves in this humidity too. But
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But people who are listening to us, at other places, especially through our podcasts, they may be all over the world, may not, marinate stuff as much as we do. We're marinators from way back.
Yeah, so we're good at that. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Okay. The second strategy that we want to talk about today is savoring. I must be hungry or something. I'm on marinating and savoring, but what we're going to savor is we're going to savor positive moments. So, when something enjoyable happens, stop, pause, time out for a moment. I would encourage to do this as long as you can, but at the very least 20 to 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Now, who doesn't have 20 to 30 seconds?
I think we all do.
We all do. And so longer if you can, but at least pause for 20 to 30 seconds. Allow your breathing to slow down and just stay with whatever the positive sensation is, because whatever positive moment there is connected to a bodily sensation.
Yes.
That's what a feeling is.
Yes.
And it's going to be pleasant. So savor that.
And that's what you're implying when you say savor. I mean, you're thinking of tasting and lingering on the sensation. So it doesn't just mean taste in this case. It's savor with all of your senses. Become a noticer, a witness to those moments.
Yeah.
of awe, of wonder, and they can be small. I mean, I think we can all hopefully remember a time from when we were kids, and I don't know, maybe you were in the bubble bath or and just noticing the wonder of the way the bubbles looked, or noticing a small flower and the way that it curved and all of the colors and the sensations, being able to bring that into our daily lives can bring us great presence and
Absolutely.
awareness.
From a neurological point of view, when you savor something, it strengthens, it keeps the reward circuits active for longer. So that extended activation is going to raise the baseline positive emotion.
It's going to strengthen your ability to continue to notice them throughout the day.
It's the same as going to the gym and working out specific muscles,
It also, when you savor a moment, it also in the nervous system, it tells you that the nervous system that this moment is safe. Because when you're able to come into your body and really linger on all the sensations of the moment, that's an indicator that I'm safe enough to be here and to be present.
Yeah. So we're talking today here on Strategies for a Living about some specific psychological, items, if you would, that are going to, we can learn to do these, and they're going to increase positive emotions, and they're going to decrease our anxiety. This is good stuff. We've got more. We'll be back here on Strategies for Living. And welcome back into your daily dose of radio rehab, and we are Strategies for Living. I mentioned the podcast a moment ago. If you, if you are driving, you're hearing a part of our program today, and you want to hear more, or you want the whole thing, or you want to take note, whatever you want to do, you can always find our episodes, our programs, in podcast form. Go to wherever you download your podcast.
Whatever your favorite platform may be. Yeah,
Spotify or Apple or iHeart or wherever you get your podcast. Put in the search Strategies for a Living, and we should come up. Our little Lucy booth
That's right.
will come up, and just hit subscribe, and you'll never miss an episode.
No.
You get the whole thing. And, maybe occasionally we might say something that you want to pass along. And that's one of the things I love about podcasts is it's easy just to share it.
Yeah.
And heard this on the radio the other day. Thought of you. Thought you might like it. Yeah. So there you go. All right. So we're talking repeatable psychological items that will decrease your anxiety. And increase
positive emotions.
Yeah. So another one is to practice specific gratitude. So write one sentence about what you appreciated specifically today and why it mattered.
Yeah.
Now, if you really want to underscore this, break the day up. Break the day up maybe into halves or quarters.
Okay.
And, again, this is intentionality. Last couple of hours, last 2 or 3 hours, even if the last couple of hours have been challenging, you can find something that you're thankful for. I remember years ago reading a Beetle Bailey comic, and one of the characters in Beetle Bailey is the old cook,
right?
Yeah, and he's always got a cigarette that's
almost
dribbles,
out.
Dribbling ashes into the food, right?
Yeah.
And so the one particular strip, the chaplain is trying to figure out what to say grace for, right?
Okay.
To be thankful for. And what he ends up doing is, thank you, Lord, for the ketchup.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Just to find one thing.
you can find something.
But listen, this is one of those things in grad school. One of our assignments was to keep a gratitude journal, and I think it was five things that we had to do every day. Anyway, whatever it was, I was pretty consistent with it. And something that I noticed as it evolved, and it was really kind of neat and beautiful, I wasn't expecting it, was as I kept this log, this gratitude journal, over the days, the things I was grateful for changed. And they changed in that I was able to notice even the things that I used to be annoyed or irritated about, I actually became grateful for.
Isn't that interesting?
Because I was able to see the positive, that there was actually something meaningful within those moments that I was getting. I mean, like, I could even be grateful for a disagreement with someone because it helped me to grow as a person.
Yeah, or it helped you define a problem better or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Now, some people may be hearing this about gratitude and say, well, I can be very general about this. And, general's okay. General's helpful. But I'm going to suggest that we get as specific as we possibly can, kind of like the chaplain did with the ketchup.
Right.
Be as specific, because specific gratitude activates reward and social bonding systems stronger than a vague appreciation. And what this is going to do for you, the reason this is important is it's going to increase emotional buffering against stress.
Okay, yeah.
Okay?
In other words, it's going to increase our resilience and our ability to handle hardships.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, next is a strategy of appraisal. Use positive appraisal. So you kind of touched on this as you were describing your assignment. When something stressful happens, intentionally write one alternative explanation that is realistic and that's less threatening.
Yeah.
Okay? So
it's just another way of saying of practicing reframing. What we call reframing.
Yeah. So instead of, well, she just ignored my message. What would the positive reappraisal be?
I mean,
they must be
busy.
Very busy.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Or didn't even go through. Who knows?
There you go. But it's a positive reappraisal because the way the brain works, the first thing that is going to come up is the saber-toothed tiger.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And but allowing ourselves to reappraise reduces that threat-related brain activity that is kind of our go-to. And it increases cognitive control over emotion. Now, this is something that, if our parents were on point, and their parents before them were on point, we probably learned some form of using our thoughts, using our cognition to either mitigate or override whatever feeling, and some, more often than not, strong feeling, because that's what we really notice. We were helped to, learn how to do that and practice it. Unfortunately, what I can say about my own experience, as well as 30 years in the counseling office and hearing many, 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 many people talk about how they were parented, how they were raised.
I just don't think that
This is not something that
we didn't understand the concept, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think
Hopefully we are better now.
Hopefully. Yeah, I mean, I can speak to my own experience both personally and with others as well to say I don't know what kind of parenting you're witnessing that's on point like that, but hopefully there's more now. And this is not to throw people under the bus and say you woulda, coulda, shoulda, but actually you might not have known or been capable of sharing this idea that, and recognizing that we are incredible storytellers.
We are.
But it's about how we use that.
How are you telling? How are you going to tell the story?
And we all have that. We all have family stories.
Sure.
Not just, I mean, in terms of the history of our own family, but then family stories in the sense of what everything means around us.
One of these days I'll get going on some of my family stories that involve a couple of grandmothers and some fruit salad, but I'll just leave it right there now. Anyway, the reappraisal, doing the reappraisal is going to directly lower sustained anxiety and rumination. Yeah. And you don't want to ruminate.
No, I mean, their ability.
But all God's children do ruminate.
Yeah, on occasion. I mean, because, again, that's a natural function of the brain in order to protect ourselves. And that's, I think that's such an important piece in all of this, to recognize that, again, just like with the negativity bias, and these are all different flavors of the negativity bias, is the idea that biologically it makes, and psychologically, it often makes sense for us to ruminate or think of the worst possible case scenario.
Sure.
Or to recognize or notice the negative things. And that can have some value in terms of problem solving.
Sure.
But the problem becomes when we're out of balance. And when we recognize that we can use our great power and capability of mind and body to intentionally craft more positive experiences within our own lives, and then therefore all those lives who we touch.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we choose to do the work there to do so? And I want to emphasize that, because this is not, these things that we're suggesting are simple, but they're not.
They may
always
not all be easy
or natural.
Yeah.
Right. I often, when I have a client who's trying to create new pathways, so to speak, in this way, trying to create a new habit around what they want, I often describe the idea that, if you've been dragging a wagon down the same path over and over and over, and oftentimes that's people's whole lives, right? So it's years. You have really deep set in tracks. And this literally happens in the brain in terms of the connectivities and pathways.
Sure. It's what we know.
When you try to drag the wagon a different path, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be
some
as
resistance.
familiar. Right?
Yeah.
And so it's about knowing that you're doing that work to create a new pathway. But over time, those grooves will become just as deep as the old ones, and the old ones will fall away.
We've only got about a minute or so before break, so let me get one more in, and maybe we'll come back and talk about it. But reachable goals, small reachable goals. Choose a task, one task that you can fully complete today, and then complete it on purpose. And again, a lot of us are in business or professions where, the work goes on.
It continues, and one thing leads to another. There's always more.
So you got to be intentional about this. Yeah. You got to be. So what is one thing that you can focus on today that, okay, I can do that today. Yeah. I can get that done. We're, a growing body of research shows that there's a handful of pretty simple, repeatable practices that can strengthen our emotional resilience and reduce anxiety. We're not born with these, but these are trainable psychological skills. Lauren is still working with me on some of them, but I'm coming along, and
we're working on those new wagon tracks.
We'll continue. We have more here on Strategies. Come back with us.
We all have problems every day. We all need help along the way. We need strategies, strategies, strategies for living radio.
Welcome back in. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian, and some good neuroscience today. Growing body of research. There's simple, repeatable practices that can strengthen emotional resilience and reduce anxiety by, helping ourselves, training ourselves with very trainable psychological skills. We're talking about them today here on Strategies. We mentioned right at break time small reachable goals, and then what's one task that you can fully complete today, and then complete that on purpose.
Yeah, I mean,
so it activates reward pathways.
Yes.
It strengthens the brain's sense of control because perceived control is one of the very strongest buffers against anxiety.
I'm laughing because I am actually thinking of my own mother who loves, and perhaps is obsessed with her own handy to-do list. I mean, I'm pretty sure every day
there is a list.
There is a list.
Yeah.
And she gets the biggest thrill out of crossing things out and adding them, probably for this very reason, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it gives her a sense
Sometimes
of control and accomplishment.
Sometimes if you're around her, you'll hear a scream, not a distress scream, but you know it's a pleasant scream, and it's what? Oh, she's just crossed another thing off the list.
I just did. Come see what I've done. Yeah. But I mean, it is makes sense, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, and momentum, right? Just making sure you get started and can do the next thing.
Momentum begets more momentum.
Right. It's more important perhaps than motivation, because I think some of us wait around for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Another strategy is small acts of kindness. Perform small acts of kindness. One deliberate supportive action of somebody else, another person, every day. I encourage more if you can, but at least one very deliberate supportive action. Could be a message, could be a favor, could be
hold the door. Buy
this doesn't have to be big.
It could be free.
Yeah.
Listen.
Practical
actively.
help. All of that counts as this kind of strategy, because what are we doing?
You're connecting.
We're increasing oxytocin is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because acts of kindness definitely increase oxytocin, and
which is the hormone, the neurotransmitter of connection.
Yeah.
Right. It's those small moments that remind our nervous system that we're connected.
Yep.
That we're not alone.
We're not. Yeah. No,
Right.
we're not by ourselves.
mean-
we may be running from the saber-toothed tiger, but there's a lot of folks running with us.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who, when they fall into anxiety, fall into this withdrawal, right? I'm going to withdraw from society and from others, and that's only going to perpetuate the issue, right? I mean, community is one of our greatest protective factors.
Yeah. Lauren, we talk about mindfulness a lot because it is something so important for us to.
We are mindful of mindfulness.
Mindful of mindfulness, yeah. But one strategy that we can talk about here, trainable psychological skills, is short periods of mindfulness. It doesn't have to be, sometimes people are reluctant to start mindfulness or meditation or centering prayer because, oh gosh, I can't keep my mind still for that long.
And they think I've got to get the perfect cushion. I've got to get everything quiet. I've got to get everything just right.
And you
sit
don't.
there for an hour.
You don't.
It's
2
not.
minutes. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes focusing on your breathing and what's going on in your body is mindfulness.
Yes.
So, and if your attention wanders, that's okay.
Just notice.
Notice it and bring
then
it
return
back.
back.
Bring it back to the breath. Bring it back to the body. Mindfulness. We do talk about it a lot. I'm not sure we can talk about it as much as we need to, because what mindfulness does, and again, mindfulness, meditation, centering, prayer, those are names for essentially the same thing. They're just different labels.
Coming back to the present moment.
But whatever we call it, mindfulness reduces overactivation in the stress reactive networks within our brain. And it strengthens attention. It strengthens attention control. Mm-hmm. So this makes our emotional reactions a little less automatic over time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we recognize that at any moment I can return to this space.
I have that power. I have that control.
And I love this one. And I mean, you can insert it into any portion. I don't care how busy you say you are. Take any activity that you're actually even doing, right?
Yep.
If you're in the car, you can sit and grab the steering wheel and feel your hands on the steering wheel and just open your ears and let whatever sounds play with your eardrum without labeling.
When somebody was holding on to a thought too much, one exercise that I would do often in the office is I'd give a pencil over.
Yeah.
And I'd have them grab the pencil and then hold tight around that pencil, and then tighter, and then tighter still. And really notice what your hand feels like. And one of the things that people often notice is, well, I can't feel the pencil anymore. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, open your hand, let the pencil drop. And most everybody that did this went, and that's a natural response. Okay, let's get one more in real quick.
Okay.
Compassion, self-compassion.
Okay, here's the asterisk.
Yeah. Especially when you make some kind of mistake, what you label as some kind of mistake, whether it's a slip up, whether you have caught yourself harshly self-talking, then replace it. Replace it with some type of supportive language. That's self-compassion.
Yes.
Talk to yourself the way that you would talk to somebody that you really, really care about.
Because hopefully you do. Hopefully you can get to a spot where you really truly care and love about yourself.
Absolutely.
Right?
And if you know you have work to do there, that we invite you to go, find help because there's a lot available.
One of the neuroscience perspectives here is to remember that when we hear criticism or judgment, whether it's from other people or ourselves, our body responds the same way.
Yep.
And that is to go into fight or flight and pump out more cortisol.
Yeah.
So that's not a helpful place to put yourself under in any case.
Not at all. Self-compassion reduces threat-based stress activation, speeds up emotional recovery after any kind of setback, and it prevents small mistakes from turning into prolonged anxiety. So we've covered a lot of territory today. A lot of research under the things that we've talked about today, these repeatable practices that can strengthen emotional resilience. They're all psychological activities that are very, very trainable. Mm-hmm. These are things you can teach yourself and your children,
Yeah.
And share them around.
Yeah.
Talking about it today here on Strategies for Living. Be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillian, the Trainable David McMillian. I feel so much better now.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Maybe you can continue the practice.
I will continue the practice, yes. Homework
here's a brownie.
Duly noted. Oh, I like that. So what's the takeaway from these psychological skills that are repeatable and research shows
They're
that
evidence-based.
they help us. Yeah.
I mean, we can go back to science and see that they truly work, right? To remember that these are trainable, meaning that it's not in our natural biology often to see the positive. So to be compassionate with that. None of these habits require money or special equipment.
No, they're actually pretty
really
simple. Yeah.
So,
the most they involve is a little writing in some of them.
Yeah. I mean, I'd encourage you to pick one, right? And practice it for a couple of weeks. Then add another. I mean, because the goal isn't to stop negativity completely, but just to
make it a bit more manageable.
Well, make it more of the natural response.
There you go. More within your control. Instead of the anxiety getting control of you.
Know that you have the power.
Yeah. How much more would you relax knowing it doesn't matter what the anxious situation is? I can control this. I can do something about it.
Yeah, thanks.
Good job, Lauren.
Thank you.
Folks, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you being with us, and we appreciate our sponsors making it possible. The Robinson Film Center, Azalea Cleaners, Pintail Roofing, Restore Healing, Fertitas Delicatessen, Home of the Muffy, SRT Sales Training, Uprising Addiction Center, and Mira Direct Primary Care. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call that you could make, who would you call? And what would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Lauren Leon McMillian, I'm David McMillian. See you next time right here on Strategies for Living.